Good evening. Retesting. Slightly new layout. I think it looks alright. Different cam. I figured out how to break out the green screen and actually really try to get it to work this time. Does look like I'm going to have to move a few things. We shall see. Let's go in. Okie dokie. I just want to do some takeoff and landing practice. Hi Mo. Hi Mojo. Cheers, man. What? Oh, what are you building? I'm literally just learning to fly this aircraft. It's such a handful, and I managed to make it take off a whole bunch of times. Like, well, I say real nice. Like, it got airborne. I didn't smack it into the ground. But I've just I've been struggling, and I think what I've done is I put too much power down while taking off. So apparently, what you're supposed to do is, according to the actual Spitfire flight manual, is a whole bunch of right rudder, and then bring the power up to about 7 psi of boost. But you can't because of the linked rudder in this game. I'm airborne. You're not supposed to put the gear up until 1,000 feet. But I'll put it up now. And then on takeoff, you're supposed to raise the power to 12. And you're supposed to raise the power to 12 to stop failing the plugs. And that's using the actual Mark 9 Spitfire flight manual. There's some stuff for Norway. Oh, okay. Very nice. I'm looking forward to the one tomorrow. Like another New Zealand trip, the same one you did. Well, roughly. I don't think it's not quite the same one, but the same starting location, and that starting location was absolutely amazing. So I'm glad someone's reusing it, and because that terrain was just brilliant. But I think you are going to be one of the first ones to hear from my mouth that I'm going to recreate my my coast trip. I put it in the Discord already, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the whole damn thing in this instead of the Cub. So it shouldn't take me as long, but I've got to fly the whole thing manually, and that's I think I'm going to do it on Sunday. I've got another little surprise. As part of the reason I went to change the stream and do the green screen thing, because I feel it looks a lot cleaner. Like I don't think I set it up like this for every stream, because my other camera's in a really nice fixed position that I don't have to deal with. But this one, that camera's not good enough for the green screen. Apparently this thing will cruise at, so let's level it out. Um, 6,000 feet. That climbed to 6,000 feet really quite rapidly. Let's trim the thing out. I definitely need to set up rudder trim correctly, because it does want to, like you can see it very gradually moving over. So I am going to have to set up the rudder trim. I just want to get some ideas of how. So let's get it trimmed out. Level flight, not 0. I want 0. Sorry. That's trimmed out quite nicely right now. What? Oh no, she's and then we'll bring the power back to 4. And I want to see what kind of speed the thing cruises at, because this thing is supposed to cruise at 324 miles an hour. And now I've got to obviously retrim it because, you know, Spitfire. The speed's going down at 4 pounds a boost. Nope. Like I'm not too bothered. I'm gonna have to hand fly the damn thing anyway because no autopilot. It's in the past, this aircraft. What we need a mod to put a Garmin in it. No, don't do that. But I do want to see how. So, I mean, it's descending a tiny bit. It cruises about 270 miles an hour quite easily. Let's put the power up to 8. Apparently, if you leave it at 7 pounds a boost, it fouls the plugs. In this aircraft it won't, but in the real aircraft, you take off at between 7 and 9 pounds a boost. Any more than that, and you basically spin the thing on the ground, and then immediately take off and go to 12 pounds a boost. 2 cats, yeah. It's I understand you. Don't worry about it. I've been reading the actual Mark 9 Spitfire flight manual, like the pilot's notes, and I found out loads of interesting stuff actually. So you put the landing gear and flaps down below 160 miles an hour. That's when you deploy them, when you reach that, and then you approach the airfield at about 120, between 120 and 125. Cross the runway threshold at anywhere it says plus or 5 miles an hour at 95 miles an hour. And then the trick is apparently, well, the trick I've been using is when you start floating above the ground, retard the power all the way back and then do everything within your power to stop it touching the ground. And just let it touch down itself, and just otherwise you're just going to slam it into the ground. I'm just doing some testing right now. I want to see where I can get it to sort of cruise out at with like no fuel use, because last Friday I did a flight that took me just under 20 hours. It's still on Twitch. You can go and verify that time. But I flew around the entire coast of Great Britain in an X-Cub with like a cruising speed of 110 knots, and it took me just under 20 hours to do the whole thing with 6 fuel stops. And I did that all in one day. But I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it again in a Spitfire, so it should only take, well, half the amount of time this time, but I might have to do some more. I might have to do, depending on. It's supposed to have it's got a combat range of 260 miles, but that's got to give you enough fuel to get back. So it's got a range of round about 500-ish miles, 500-600 miles. The manual says with a full fuel load it can ferry 1,000 miles, but I don't know whether that's with drop tanks or not. It didn't actually say. It just gives you restrictions on what you can and cannot do with drop tanks, like no aerobatics, and if you've got like an external load, you're not allowed to spin the aircraft and stuff like that. But It was really quite interesting. But I'm just trying to figure out what it kind of... I'm going to go like 1,000 feet. I'm going to dive it. But like this, should be... Let's see what kind of speed. This airframe's maximum speed is 404 miles per hour. I can pretty much guarantee you that it exceeded that speed during wartime. These things were known to like get very, very close to Mach 1. We are back in the sky. I'm just, for whatever reason, I managed to make it to the Isle of Wight real quick again from Middle Wallop. But I'm out I'm doing some testing because I've decided I'm going to recreate a flight I did last Friday and fly around the entire Great British coast in a Spitfire and do it all in one stream. I'm going to do that on Sunday. I haven't decided the time yet, but it'll probably be around 2 o'clock. But I'm going to do some landing practice so I don't mess up that flight. I've been on the manuals for both the in-game aircraft and the real-life Spitfire Mark 9 pilot's notes. And I believe I have a rough idea of how not to smash it into the ground at every point. And I'm also testing a new stream layout with a green screen. Not sure how it looks, let me know. It's got some tweaks to happen. I've been wanting to try the green screen for about probably 3 months, and I tried it years and years ago, but my computer wasn't up to it just now, and it is now. So. But £6 a boost. 280 miles an hour. I can live with that. So it's going to be a case of pretty much doing it manually the whole time. And I've got an idea for a joystick, because I want to build my own joystick. Like I want to build my own gimbal. I want to use Hall effect sensors. There's loads of designs online for free that I can 3D print. And there's one particular one that's really sort of struck me, but it uses like weird components. And the Hall effect sensors that he recommends, while are probably pretty damn good, they're not the cheapest things in the world. So I can have a ground-mounted joystick, so I've got loads of like fine control but I've got a HOTAS for the time being. I'm never going to get one built in time, but I do have an old Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, and I've taken the actual stick off it, and I'm going to just build an extension for it just ever so slightly, just so I can have it on the desk. It's not going to be big, but I'm going to be able to just use nice and comfortably. I'm going to be able to use 2 fingers to move it about, and I can build an extension for it easy enough to have it on the ground if I wanted to try it out. I'm not sure how stout it would be, but I like the idea of having a nice simple stick, and I want to replicate the cub stick with that one, just until I get round to finding all these random weird components for a Hall effect sensor 3D printed one. I've got to wait for stuff to arrive, like the 2020 aluminium extrusion for it, and do you know what? This is actually super simple to hand fly. I reckon it'd be super simple even to fly long distance. Once you've got the aircraft trimmed out, you don't really need to do a great deal. And I'm doing 280 miles an hour at 6 pounds of boost. (280 mph). It's about 250 knots. I used the autopilot on the Cub. When I flew around the entire coast of Great Britain, so I didn't have to concentrate too much on it, and I don't have to concentrate too much on this now. Like, especially it's trimmed out right now. I'm just putting left and sort of elevator corrections in, and the odds. No, sorry, aileron corrections, and I'm just tweaking the trim again. Having a trim wheel makes that so much easier. So I think I might do this on Sunday. Get a whole bunch of snacks and just sit here all day and play a flight simulator. Which it will be pretty iconic flying around the coast of, you know, doing the whole Cliffs of Dover thing. Ah. And there goes my FPS. It'll pop back in a minute. I really wish they'd like, I'd be quite happy if they pushed back a feature update by a month or two and really spent a good amount of time like really ironing out the sort of quality of life stuff, like making sure the sim doesn't do this, making sure it can run effectively for everybody, making sure it doesn't crash every time. Well, my last round the UK on Friday, it crashed twice on finals landing, and I just hope it doesn't do that again. There you go, smooths out straight away. It was just a test flight. I wanted to make sure we're I'll be confident enough to actually sort of try this on Sunday. So also, Adventurer, if you're still there, our bush flying group has a group flight tomorrow evening, 8 PM. There's my FPS again. If you want to, it's free. Obviously, the more the merrier. There's no skill level required. There's a whole bunch of casual people. You can drop in, drop out if you want. I think the whole thing will be roughly sort of 2.5 to 3 hours, maybe. But you don't have to stay that long. Anybody else who's there who wants to join? Mojo Mike, I think he's also watching, or Joe in the chat there. He's one of the mods for our group. He likes creating scenery, and I believe he's just told me he's creating scenery for a trip he's planning. And we've got some pretty talented scenery designers, and Mike's probably our A-rated one at the moment. And we're doing a New Zealand group flight tomorrow. All the information's on our website and Discord. We're over Bristol, right? Brighton right now. Are we? Is this Brighton? Am I talking out of my backside? That's a fast plane. I'm gonna try some landing shortly. EGOI. That seems like a good enough target. Yeah, it is Brighton. Yeah, I was right. Beer. Let's see the fuel tank. Yeah. Wow. This thing kind of drinks the juice, doesn't it? Have I missed my airport area? Right, let's fly over. We'll do some landing practice. Practice taking off now that I took off semi-okay the last time. I can't be over the airfield already, really. What a beautiful aircraft. Wow, let's find a place to put down. from that winter. What a sound. Oh, I love that. There it is. Not entirely sure that's big enough for this. I'd try that every day in a Cub, that'd be easy, but not on a Spitfire. Oop. Oh, there's Egypt up there. course, there goes the refresh rate. Back. Oh, beautiful. Except that. And sloop. I saw that, XL. I saw that. That's got to be that field just down there, isn't it? I believe it is. Bit of a banana-shaped runway, but that's doable, isn't it? Let's try that again. Turn around. Try and keep it at least semi-coordinated. Should be all right. So below 160 knots, the gear can come down, as can the flaps. To approach at about 100. It's difficult because I can't see the terrain in front of it. So it should be fine. 95-ish is the approach, is the runway threshold crossing speed. I have to drop it right now to be able to descend enough. And then use the power back and then fight it. And then all the way back on the stick and ease the brakes on. Not too easy, not too hard on the brakes. Oh, beautiful. Happy with that. Flaps can come back up. 1500 RPM bursts off to taxi. Do a flip. I will, Kev, yeah. If you've got this, Kev, this aircraft is absolutely fantastic. It's the best. I'm going to say it's the best, like, payware aircraft for the sim since it came out. Oh, mate, you're missing out. It's wonderful. Yeah, I do a bit of DCS. I'm just not very good at it. Like, I haven't really spent a good amount of time learning how to fly the aircraft, and this is actually, like, not like quite study level, but it's wonderful. Right, so to take off, we go up to 7, and then you need to feed the rudder in, stop it kicking out. There we go. That was, oh Christ, I'm already messing it up. Airborne. Wait until 300 feet. Gear up. And then wind the power up to 12 psi. Yeah, I've got a bunch of people I fly flight sim with that play a lot of DCS as well. I've only got the basic thing. I haven't got any extra aircraft for it. The only one that like really appeals to me is the Gazelle, and apparently it's not like the best one. I don't really like. I'm not really a huge fan of the air-to-air stuff. I like it, but I prefer the ground attack like A10. I would want to spend more time with an A10 or the Huey. But the Gazelle is the one that appeals to air-to-air as yours. Yeah, that's it. I don't like. I much prefer sort of diving towards the ground and a completely sort of fancy-free, let's like YOLO, sort of attitude with a, with an A10 with a, big ass minigun on the chin and just smashing all who stand before me, and Bert. Yeah, the A10. I want the the A10C, which is it's like that's like 40 quid. Like if I could get it cheaper than that, I missed out on the sale. There was just a sale where pretty much everything was half price, and I got the last day of it, and I was like, I didn't realise it was the last day, and I was like, I really want that, and I was up in the air about whether I was going to get it, that and the Gazelle, and I never did, and I came back to buy it. Like I decided like the next day that I was going to go and do it, and when I did it, I missed out, and it had gone back up to full price. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was the first. Maybe it was just me. It's the first time I've ever seen it on sale. But I'll hang on. What do you know? There's the first A10 that was super cheap. I think it was like 7 quid. But I heard that you can't really interact with it too much, and part of the appeal for me is the interaction between between you and the cockpit instruments and stuff. Oh no, I haven't downloaded any mods for it, so I mean I could just get it from directly from the DCS website and get the non-Steam compatible one. I can also set up a server for it. I've got 2 dual Xeon servers sat there, literally off, not doing anything. You don't have to be like. Oh No, mate, I've reinstalled Windows like 2 or 3 times. I use Discord most of the time because our group like Discord's got like fairly insane with the amount of people in it, and like if I'm online and flying, I'm normally on that. Oh, don't crash into the trees, come on. Yeah, I will do, man. Just I say there's a couple in our group on our Discord that do DCS as well, and it's just never really come up. There's always, yeah. Do you stream anymore, Kev? I don't see you online anymore. Yeah, you've got to get it. You've got to get it, Kev. It is wonderful. Like now, a few months in, there's still a few bugs. It's still a little bit immature, but they do updates. Like they're fairly like the updates come once a month. Oh no, Kev. Oh, excuse me. I set up a streaming PC specifically so my main doesn't get hammered by it. It was really struggling with flight sim streaming. So I've got 3900X in that, and the streaming PC is a 1700X. And it's even the 3900X struggles with streaming. No, flaps. Do not ever take off with flaps in a Spitfire. I want to see how bad this is, Mike. So you see how much it kicks it over. Oh yeah, I have absolutely no fuel. I think it could possibly be a case of the limit in the SDK. Oh no, you're right. I've only got 10 litres left. Well, I tell you what. Let's go full military power and see how far I get on 3%. I've never run out of fuel in this, so I want to see what it's like. I'm going to try and turn around and land back at that same airfield. I reckon my landing's going to be terrible. There's actually a specific... like checklist is if your engine's not on. That was quite a common thing back when these things were flying for real. It says I'm at 0, and there's the engine died. The engine has just quit. I have no boost at full throttle. It's just okay. There's that airfield. Okay, let's. I'm doing 220 miles an hour, so I really need to get rid of that speed. Oh, I can do that by that and that. Okay, I'm gonna have to like glide around, do a loop because I've got too much airspeed. Well, this is not funny in the slightest. Okay, I'm still too fast. I mean, let's take the gear down. No, I'm still too fast. Should we see if we can do one more circle and not mess this up? Oh man, oh man, 120 miles an hour. This ain't good. This is This is not looking promising, is it? That being said, there's the airfield. And I can dump the flaps out now. Oh, I might make this. Oh yes! I'm on the brakes. The engine has quit entirely, ran out of fuel, and I did it. I mean, I'd probably have some, I might have some like leaves and twigs and stuff in my gear after crossing those trees at the end. I couldn't tell you whether I hit them or not. I might have done. I was close, either way. Wow. Yeah, what I'll do is, I'll pretend that someone comes over here with a jug of fuel. And then listen to the engine start sound, man. I'll get in the cockpit. I'll open the canopy. I'll open the door. Oh, look at that. So the prop condition all the way up, the mixture condition all the way up. I say I'm going to complain about the because it's not an inertia starter on this aircraft, and they've used the wrong sound effect for the engine start. But the aircraft was only released last week. But the engine sounds amazing. I'll shut it off again. You can just listen to the sound of it. The sound's a bit weird still in places. I think it sounds great. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them flying, and like the engine sound right now is fairly accurate. But no, yeah, it's the same reaction for me, to be brutally honest. But listen to the wind noise, right? So I leave the canopy open. We'll hit some trees on the way out. The sound effects are great. Oh mate, that would have been wonderful to watch that. Maiden preceded by Spitfires. Oh. Such a nice aircraft to fly, this thing. Yeah, I would have done the same. Oh mate, I saw a Lancaster go overhead, and that's a sight as well. They did the Battle of Britain flight a couple of years ago and flew over Douglas, didn't it? And it was do a flip. Oh, I can do a roll. There's a specific way of doing it. So you bring up to 12 pounds of boost. So the right hand side of the red ring around at the boost gauge. 12 pounds of boost. And then when you get to about 300 miles an hour, it says the limit for starting a roll, for starting a loop is 300 miles an hour. And then you gradually start pulling up, and you get more and more progressive with the stick, and then you just hold the stick and just leave the power on, and leave it there, and she'll come right back down of her own accord, and then leave the stick the entire time until the loop's been followed through, and it loops real good, and you pretty much level off at the same altitude you started at. Like I got taught that by a guy who's they've Steve Solo in the game. He flies with us occasionally, but he was the one who taught me into getting the Spitfire, and I couldn't be happier with it. Oh, hi, Holla, how's it going, man? I'm just tooling around right now. But if I do a barrel roll, I've got to learn how to do those because my nose ends up pointing down, and that's sort of bad news. I'll do it when my FPS recovers. Flight Sim's got a weird bug at the moment. The FPS just dips. Right, so let's bring it back down to 8. And raise the nose up a little bit, and then that was a bit better. If you I'll go inverted, and the engine should die. The engine's leaning out. You can hear it, like it changed. The note changed. I'm not sure how long it can fly upside down for. I've not actually tried it, but I know it leans out slightly. Do you know what? I'm going to have to check the manual for inverted flight, because I've not actually seen it. I didn't check that bit. I know the early Spitfires couldn't be upside down forever. It's not throttle though. It's a. I don't know whether the early Spitfires had a problem with negative G. So if you were upside down or dived for an extended period of time, the fuel in the carburetor would float to the top of the carburetor and either flood or starve the engine. I can't remember which way round it was. So the German fighters and bombers realised pretty quickly that if they dived, the early Spitfires couldn't keep up with them, until a couple of intrepid Spitfire pilots decided, you know what, there's got to be a way around this. And they would dive by putting the aircraft sideways and then dive down like that. And it meant that it wouldn't either flood or starve the carbs. And then they fixed it in later models, but I'm not sure the history and the details behind it and how they fixed it, if they fixed it, how they fixed that diving thing. I know they fixed it, but I don't know what they did to do it. So I've got the Spitfire Mark 9 pilot's manual and the pilot notes, like the original pilot notes. So, and I've just run out of fuel again because I only put 8% in. So minus my throttle control all the way down, mixture control all the way down. Hi, Jess. Yeah, you've got. I mean, it doesn't work like 100%, but you've got to use the wobble pump. You've got to use the primer and the wobble pump to get the engine started. And I was messing it out. Right, I tell you what. Let me bring up the actual manual for starting the aircraft. Let me just dump it onto the ground somewhere, right? Anyway, I'll do. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just slam it onto the ground here. Regardless, of the simulation, I apologise if this offends anybody. I've got no fuel anyway, so I've got to land in the field. This will be a gear up landing either way. Map details amazing. It uses Bing Maps, man. It uses all the satellite data from Bing Maps throughout the entire world, so you can do proper VFR flying. Tell you what. It says locked. Oh, use your mouse scroll wheel to unlock it. I'll tell you what. I'm still flying. This thing just doesn't want to land even with no engine power. Right. Okay. Right. Are we on the ground yet? Right, come on now. You can slow down anytime you like. So, so I've got no fuel. Open the canopy for those extra wonderful sounds. Put the fuel in the tanks. So, you on this where the prime it says primer locked. If you use your mouse wheel to scroll, if you do it correctly, like I just didn't do, if you use your mouse wheel to scroll, it comes up, it shows up unlocked, and then you can pump it, and then you can use a wobble pump as well. You're waiting in a doctor's office. Oh crap! Hope nothing's badly wrong with you. I don't have to go to the doctor's office anymore. My missus is a doctor, and she lives upstairs, so it's not allowed in the man cave. Yeah, you use that, like the. I'll tell you what. I'll have to back out of the sim to like. I'll back out to the main menu. I'll reload the sim back into Middle Wallop where we were. I'll go and get my the actual Spitfire flight plan loaded up. Quick start. I don't want quick start. I want full engine start checklist. Where is it? Okay. It's quite a long manual, even the one that they've created. Right, so startup checklist. There we go. We'll start up in parking because that starts with the engine off. Set as departure. We'll get into the sim. And I will use the flying iron checklist for starting up, and this will change because of limitations in the SDK within the game. They can't program certain things in yet, like certain stuff doesn't work, like the wobble pump doesn't quite work yet, like it sort of semi works. Certain other stuff sort of semi works, some stuff is kind of broken. Right, this is the cold and dark setup. Oh, alright, sweet, no problem, Jazz. I'm going to start it up anyway. This will be on YouTube forever anyway. It'll be on. Just let me know. I'm going to do it right now because I want to make sure the checklist is right, and I can do it because I've only tried it a couple of times. And then just let me know when you're back and you're ready and you're out, and I'll do it again. So what we're supposed to do is to start up. We get the gear indicator switch, battery on. So it's not on at the moment, but to switch the aircraft on, you need to advance the throttle, because if you look, well, you can't see it from this point. So if I get myself in the cockpit down, if you look right there, there's a throttle control switch. So to deal with that, you need to advance the throttle, and the throttle actually turns the switch on. That's designed to get the aircraft started up as fast as humanly possible. So you just slam a load of switches and bam, you're going. So prop control, full forward. So it's air screw control lever, fully forward. Carb air filter in operation, which is that one, so fully forward. Fuel tanks on, which is this one, tank fuel, that switches on. Mixture idle cut off, that's the mixture. External tank off, don't have one. Or hang on, do I? I can't remember now. That's get that out the way. That's external tank, I think, isn't it? That's fuel shot file. Is that external tank? Not sure. Not sure. Okay, right, we'll carry on as we were before, because I can get it started doing this. Throttle, an inch open or so. Booster pump, wobble pump. Operate until low fuel pressure light is extinguished, then set off. So fuel pressure light is the red light, the red light, it won't be an LED in this, in the bottom right of the panel, just by the fuel gauge. So if we go back up, oh, I've got to go down for that anyway. I can hit the wobble pump until the low fuel pressure warning light is extinguished. There we go. The fuel pressure light is extinguished. Primer as required. See below. Priming guide. 7 pumps. Okay, so we unlock the primer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Starter coil booster safety covers open. They are open. Mixture auto fully forward. Mags both on. And then hit the booster and coil. And there's the engine started. And it worked if I followed the actual checklist. Yay! Okie dokie. Can't believe I actually got that to work. Let's go in there. I'm just going to take off from the ramp, screw it. Okay. 7 PSI. Should have closed the door before, but hold on to that. Got to pick gear up. And then go up to 12 pounds of boost for a climb. The manual actually tells you to increase the throttle afterwards so you don't foul the spark plugs. And I'm almost. This aircraft flies so beautifully. It's so nice in the sim. North. Oh, that's you. Yeah. It took me a little while to justify it, but then I realised I got a refund from a item from PayPal, so I had a PayPal balance. But I recommend getting it as soon as you can. It's only going to sort of improve the quality. It is wonderful. It's a wonderful aircraft. I'm just doing some tests. I'm flying it in different ways. I want to check a few things. want to see what it'll happily cruise at like certain speeds. I've also got to go through a couple of more of the pilot's notes because I want to check a couple of other things. Yeah, I'm super in love with this aircraft. It's so nice. Doing a bit of climb now. So there's a requirement that if you have a gear problem and it doesn't lock up correctly, you are supposed to pretty much land the aircraft immediately, because if you look where the gear comes out, it would fold out and block either the supercharger or oil cooler, and that's bad for it. It doesn't like that. It says it'll increase the heat quite rapidly and won't work properly. And there's a switch somewhere. Again, I'm still learning to open the. Oh, cool! And there's a switch somewhere to open the. What's that? Tell me. Emergency only. I have no idea what those are. I've still got to go through some of the information. I'm cruising at 251 knots. That's quite a lot of boost though. Pull that back to 6. Astro, I've changed the layout of the stream as well. I've finally made the green screen work. So I feel it's a little less obtrusive. I just want to see what kind of mileage I can get out. 50% of a tank. She drinks the fuel. Aircraft's got a 2-hour endurance. Apparently it can cruise at 300 mile an hour. 324 this variant can cruise at. just have a quick look because it gives me the max continuous. Maximum continuous is plus £7 a boost. That's about there. Max climbing 1 hour limit, £12 a boost. And combat limit is 18. It's a 5-minute limit. Maximum takeoff to 1,000 feet is £18 a boost on this engine. But you would only like use that off the ground. You can't. The takeoff is between 7 and 9. Otherwise, it gets to just wants to throw you off the runway. I've got wind turbine. Back up. Move that trim around. Flying limitations. Maximum speed in mile per hour. Between surface level and 20,000 feet, 450 miles per hour is a maximum speed in knots. Diving. Undercarriage down and flaps down, the maximum speed is 160 miles per hour. It's quite interesting, that pilot manual. So 270 mile an hour, 232 knots. I like it. Okay. Let's go EGDY. Wobbly. Oh, this is a lovely aircraft. I love it so much. I could come up with a song now. I'll get my mate Bebop to make me a song. He can make songs, I can't. He's got a bit of talent. Pardon me. Excuse me. What an aircraft. Someone can point out to me a better looking aircraft than that. The only other one that I think looks almost as good, not quite, but almost, is the P-38. And I'm pretty sure I only love that because it's got not one but two Merlin engines in it. Let's have just a quick look outside because I want to make sure I'm going to. Of course, the FPS gets hammered by some random thing. This damn game. Okay, completely overshot that. Oh well. And back to terrible frame rate. It's got nothing to do with the scenery, by the way. Tower, this is Shepard requesting a flyby. Negative Shepard, the pattern is full. I'm doing it anyway. Fuck you, Tower. If you'll excuse the language. Gear down anyway. And below 160 I can stick the flaps out. And the airport approach speed should be around 110. Airport threshold speed should be around 95. When you get close, you retard the throttle and then try and keep the nose up and let it just land. I floated a little bit there, oh well. Bounced. I can get into the brakes. The stick full back. Okay, okay. I will take off again, and this time I'm going to do my level best to stay on the centre line. So obviously not the centre line. And use bursts of 1500 RPM to taxi. That's what the manual says. That's pretty much the centre line. Okay. You gotta have the canopy open for takeoff, apparently. So let's bring the boost up to £7. You're supposed to start with full right rudder, but you can't in this aircraft because it's not got free caster and tail wheel yet. Take off. Once you get to 300 feet, put the gear up. And then you can advance the throttle to 12 pounds of boost for a climb. That was not too bad, smooth. It was cat, sorry, it was not the greatest one ever. I've done better than that before. But so I've started to see things in the chat now. And then I'm just going to turn right round and go back and land again. So just drag the throttle. When I get lined up, I'll stick the gear down. The airport is EGDY, Echo Golf Delta Yankee. I don't know what the name of it is, to be honest. I just found it on the VFR map and I decided to do some landing practice. Actually, if I haven't got past it already. What an idiot. Okay. Below 160 miles per hour, the gear can come down. The gear is down. Also below 160 is the limits for the flaps. And then you approach at 110, 115. That's a bit lower than that. That's about 100. Across the airport threshold. That's not a bad approach angle, is it? The Pappy is telling me. And then a 90, and then I can start flaring it. And then do my best to stop it touching the ground. Touch tail wheel first. That was a bit better than last time, actually. That was a bit better than last time. I'm going to put the flaps back up now. Don't need them. EGDY, yeah. Let's just Oh, nope, I looped it. That was Tokyo Drift, right the way around. So okay, you can't taxi and turn that fast. Turns out. Yeah, see you later, Kev. Thanks very much, man. Get the game, by the way. Not pressuring you or anything, just buy it, do it now. And then buy the Spitfire immediately. Have fun though. Okie dokie. Let's try another takeoff. Let's try and do a bit better this time. Okay then. Flaps. £7 boost. Rudder. I'm making a big zero race.
Hold up.
Gear up to 300 feet. At that point I can close the canopy. And then up to 12 psi for a climb. Ah, it shows to me as well. That's good. Thanks. Kev's a good egg. I'm too fast for this approach. I'll bomb the. I'll bomb down the runway and then I'll turn right. Buzz the tower again. What time are we on? It's 4 PM. 10 past 4. Lined up a bit better this time. 2 cats in a Spitfire as well. Good man. Or woman. Because I'm not sure. Good person. There we go. Stop slowing. This would be quite a low approach. Below 160, the gear can be deployed. Offer some drag, slow me down a bit further. The flaps can be deployed, and they are pretty violent. There he is. too slow. '90s across the threshold. Gradually start pulling those up. Stop it from landing. Bounce. Okay, I'll accept that. That wasn't too bad. And then on the brakes. Wondrous. Oh, no. That was too much brakes. Oh well. Okay, I'm definitely getting better at this. I'm not as bad as I used to be. It wasn't as bad as yesterday when I crashed every single time I tried to take off. Let's just go for it again. If I use more than £8 of boost, look what happens. So if I go up to, say, 10, I can get as much rudder in it as I possibly can, and the thing still wants to just spin. So you really have to bring it back down. That was a demonstration, it wasn't. It's going to end up in an accident, isn't it? Goof-proof. I certainly am not goof-proof. I've goofed a whole bunch of times. Okay. Why's my gear still down? I've overspeeded the gear. It is what it is. We live and learn. Over the solar farm. Flaps out again and put some power in. Oh, I can hear him beside me. At least I think so. There he is. Bounce, not good. Oh, well, I'm bouncing a fair bit. Okay, that wasn't that bad either. Close. Okie dokie. I think I want to design the stick for that. So that's what I'm going to do. I've taken it all apart. It still exists. It still works. And I want a nice, just a pull. So I am going to jump off the sim. I'm going to stop the stream. Thanks very much for watching. I might be back later. If not, I'll definitely be on tomorrow because we've got a group flight at 8 PM. Have a pleasant day. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks very much, cats, for showing up, man. Sorry, I'm gonna jump off. I only came on to do some just a little bit of practice. I've got some planning to make because I'm going to do quite a long stream on Sunday. I'm streaming tomorrow. I've got a long stream planned for Sunday, potentially up to about 12 hours. I've got another long flight that I'm planning. Yeah, man. If you're available Sunday to join me, I'll have more details tomorrow. But I'll post them up in the Discord again. I've got quite a grand idea for something I want to do. I did a grand idea last Friday, but I'm going to try it on Sunday. So you're more than welcome to join me, at least for a little bit if you want. But it's going to be like 12, potentially up to 12-hour flight, maybe even a bit more. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Wrong button. Genius.